By popular demand, we are going to talk about the Dark Empath, but we are going to talk about this scientifically. This would be somebody who has a high degree of dark triad traits that you might associate with psychopathy, but also has a high degree of empathy. We'll talk about it. The dark triad is a psychological tool that's used to categorize certain kinds of maladaptive and antisocial behaviors. Someone may have one of them or all of them. They include narcissism, that is a sense of grandiosity. They think they are entitled and they think they are superior. Machiavellianism, that one is someone who is highly manipulative and self-interested. And of course, psychopathy. This is someone who is impulsive, lacks compassion and remorse for their actions. All of these together can make a pretty dangerous human being. But not always. Somebody may have all of these traits and still not be a cruel person. Researchers who were studying psychopathy noticed that there was an additional group within those who had dark triad traits, those who also displayed a high amount of cognitive empathy. Now, there are different kinds of empathy. There's cognitive empathy, that's the ability to understand what others are feeling, and then there's affective empathy, which is the ability to feel it. Depending on what psychologist you talk to, there's going to be various categories, but those are the primary ones. A group that is high in dark triad traits, who's also able to understand other people's emotions, is going to be very effective at being Machiavellian. They're able to use their understanding of other people's emotions to their own benefit. They're known as manipulators who trick others into believing that they care, but there's more perspectives on that than one. Some researchers have noted that the dark empath category is somebody who also feels very insecure. They are aware of their own shortcomings. They may truly be able to feel others' feelings and care an awful lot, but they're also a group who are capable of turning that off. This is someone who might be able to just flip a switch and behave very callously when the situation calls for it. I have seen some research suggesting that people who are generally successful in the business world tend to also have a high degree of cognitive empathy, but are capable of acting ruthlessly when need be. I do want to caution you because I know what you're thinking. Could I be this? Could I be a psychopath? Could I be a dark empath? Possibly. You do have to know that these traits are in all of us. These are going to be a spectrum of general human traits. Another thing I would caution you from doing is having sympathy for the devil. No one is a caricature of evil. Well, I guess some people might be. But people who express psychopathic traits tend to suffer an awful lot for it. One of the things under the dark triad umbrella is going to be dependency. These are people who really want to be liked and really want to be loved, but tend to repel other people because it's hard to care for someone with that kind of personality, someone who could be quite damaging to you and often is. Understanding these things does not mean you have to be sympathetic for it, and I would suggest not putting yourself in contact with dangerous people, someone who is almost guaranteed to hurt you. If you are struggling with any of these things and you want to be better, you want to get better, you want to interact with others, there is a good body of evidence that psychiatry and psychology can help, but that person has to want to change and want to get better. If you are interested in analyzing yourself, you can pop over to IDR Labs. They collect clinical tests and you can try it for yourself. But one of the larger problems in psychology and psychiatry and mental health research is a reproducibility problem. Only 36% of psychiatric studies are reproducible. That is getting better. It's understood to be a crisis, but they are trying to fix it and make it reproducible. Take this question, for example. It's okay to lie if it's the best way to handle a situation. Most people would not say yes. I would say yes because I could think of 100 different scenarios where lying is the best outcome. And I'm betting you could too if you really thought about it. I feel like I must strive to be the best at everything I do. When I was younger, I probably would have given a hard yes. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I'm quite competitive, but I'm not so sure any longer. I'm just too tired for it. Ideally, a psychological assessment should not vary based on the life stage somebody is in, so these things really do need to improve. Try it yourself. Let me know what happens.